The evolution of your marketing will be the catalyst for the evolution of your business, and the evolution of your business will provide you with the freedom to focus on the evolution of your life. This is Evolved Marketing with Andre and Brian. All right, welcome back to another episode of Evolved Marketing Podcast. My name is Brian Brewer, along with my co-host Andre Jermachev and today's special guest. Now, I was looking at the funnel or the homepage or the website of today's guest shortly before we went live, just to, see what he's all about, see what his messaging is. And the headline on his funnel, where he sends all his leads in order to grow his email list and then, of course, make affiliate commissions, says, and I quote, "I'm just a regular dad who took a shot at learning digital marketing and created a six-figure income online." So I can't think of a better way to give you an idea of the gentleman that we're going to speak with today. I'm excited to share his story and dive into his story. Not only is because he's a family man like myself, but like he says, he saw something, he took a chance. He probably thought, why not at some point? We'll find out. And here he is, over $100,000 in commissions later. I think things are starting to work out for him, to say the least. So without further ado, let's welcome to the show today's guest. And before I butcher his name, I'm going to let him introduce him as his last name. Let's introduce Phil to the show.
Hey guys, nice to be here so much. My name is Phil Kohberger.
Kohberger. That's what I would have thought.
Kohberger.
I just didn't want to embarrass myself right off the get-go.
No,
so here we
Better
go.
be safe than sorry, right?
It's funny. My last name has been in the news in the past couple of months for not really good reasons. I mean, I've never heard my name other than family, and then I heard it in the news for some crazy something. I don't know what that guy's doing, but there's another I've been asked many times about, are you related to this guy who's a murderer of some sort? I don't know, but anyway, yeah, that's my last name. And my name is Phil, and I've been doing this digital marketing thing since June of 2021. And my little story is this. I mean, I'll give you exactly how I came around this whole world, this wonderful world that I'm in. But first, I want to just say thank you for inviting me here. I never thought I'd be in this spot a year ago, just to talk with you guys, especially both you. I consider you guys top of the game, somebody that I want to be like. You guys are just people that I look up to, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk to you guys. So with that said, I'll just tell you my little story. It's pretty similar to a lot of people, but there's some twists and turns that you'll find out. I'm 55. I started this when I was 54 years old. My whole life, I've always been the type of guy that had that Think and Grow Rich book in my back pocket. Always wanted to be somebody different. Always had that entrepreneurial spirit in my mind, and always had that burning desire in my heart to do something else. I never really thought that I would have an opportunity. I tried different things, MLMs in the past, tried selling insurance and all kinds of crazy stuff. But as the years go by, you get stuck in your life with marriage, kids. Yeah, you stick with a job for as long as you possibly can, and then you just try to fulfill the American dream, quote unquote, the American dream. As the years go by, I find that I'm missing some time with my kids. I'm missing some days on Saturdays because I have 3 children. I've got a little boy who's 10 right now. I've got a 16-year-old daughter, and I've got a 20-year-old son. And over the years, my oldest son, I had to work on Saturdays, and I worked late. And some of the things that I missed, I'm very sad that I missed some of the things that he was doing on the weekends, and some of the dance programs my daughter was doing. I missed some of those because I had to work. And throughout my life, I've always wanted to be my own boss. I've always wanted to do something different, but I never had either the opportunity was there and never took the chance because I was afraid. I was afraid of leaving the security of a good job, of a real job, quote unquote. But eventually, I've always tried something different and maybe failed at it, or just never had the gumption to really go for it. And then long story short, June of 2021, I came across my daughter wanted TikTok on her phone. And I looked at TikTok and I wanted to see if it was okay for her to use. And she was 15 or 14 at the time. And I saw people twerking and doing crazy things on there. And I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea for my daughter to really look at right now in her life. So after about 20 minutes of me watching all that crap, I did come across Calvin Hill. I caught him kind of talking about his story and his life with digital marketing. And I really didn't believe what he was saying. The guy was talking about astronomical numbers of he was making on a monthly basis. And I just kind of swiped on by. I didn't want to hear anything that he was saying. I thought he was scamming people. And of course, I just got on TikTok and I thought all this stuff is a bunch of crap. So I just kind of let it go for a couple of days. And I was about to delete the app, but I figured, let me get on here one more time, just kind of play around a little bit. And I was sitting in bed and he was on again. And I sat for about 3 hours listening to the guy. He caught my eye or my ear because he said he was from Georgia and I'm from Georgia. And I heard him talk and explain how affiliate marketing worked, how digital marketing worked in detail. And he showed examples and he showed what this whole quote unquote digital marketing umbrella of things that he has created for him in his life. And it was so intriguing and it was so interesting to me. And he made me feel like I can do this. He made me feel that a regular person like me can go out there and create a life like he has created for himself by recommending and referring products and services to other people. He made it so simple for me to understand that he had a free ebook. I downloaded it, looked at it, clicked on every link that he had in that ebook. And I just said to myself, well, I've never really invested in myself. I went to college, but I went to a community college, never really spent a lot of money on college. I always was interested in education, always wanted to get more education, but I never really did anything about it. Well, it was my time, I think. It was my time. I'm 50. It was 54 at the time. And I always wanted to do something special. I was in a job for 19 years because it was a job. I mean, I had lost my job in the past as an IT guy, and the job that I was in for 20 years was supposed to be temporary. And it was a job that my brother got me in the HVAC industry as a supply house person, right? I worked in the supply house as a counter guy, and I sold HVAC supply stuff. And it was supposed to be temporary. I was doing that for 20 years. That temporary job became permanent. I started moving forward into that business. I always knew that I can do something great in whatever business I got involved in, because I always wanted to be top of the game with anything that I did. And I did. I eventually started managing that place. But then there was really nothing left for me there. It was, got to the point where it was I'm not going to get into the details of that job, but it was just getting to a point where it was just, my health was in danger. I wasn't feeling right. I was coming home from work, yelling at my kids and, why isn't the kitchen clean? And why, all of these things that I didn't want to be that person. And it was because I was working weekends, and it was because that all of the stress on that job was just hard on me, on my family. And, I didn't want to be that person. I turned it to somebody that I never wanted to be like. Eventually, as I went through this training, I knew that this was my way out. This was a vehicle for me to get to where I wanted to be in life. Whether I can do it or not, I didn't know. But Calvin Hill made me feel as though I could. I didn't know anything about this digital marketing stuff, affiliate marketing. The only thing I ever knew about affiliating anything was when you hear on the news when somebody says that they were an affiliate partner with another news company. That's all I ever knew. Then I learned about it, and I just went for it. I just went for it. I learned everything I could possibly learn. I went through Legendary Marketer's 15-day Business Builder Challenge. I was excited about it. And I saw people doing very well. I saw you, I saw Brian, I saw other people that are still around that were making really decent money. And I said, well, let me give it a shot. And, I'm a dad. I want to be with my kids. I want to be with them longer. I mean, I'm in my 50s, and I've lived a long life, and I still want to live a good life and be with these kids. Because they're only going to be 6 once, they're only going to be 10 once, they're only going to be 16 once, they're only going to be, these ages, and I'm not part of it. I am part of it, but not as much as I want to be. And if I can change my life in a way with this vehicle and I was watching other people change their lives. I've heard your story, Andre, and I've heard Brian's story, and I've heard Sean and all these other people, their stories and how they've changed their lives. And I kept saying to myself, well, why can't it be me? I'm not anybody different than anybody else. I mean, I'm just a regular, like I say in my funnel, I'm just a regular dad of three that I just want to learn something new. I wanted to do something different. And I knew that it had to take a lot for me to do that. I mean, I was busy. I'm a busy dad. I was, full-time job, working Saturdays, wife was working, and, we were making really good money. But for me, I got up early. I used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to my work. But before that, when I wanted to do this, I got up at 4 o'clock so I can really get into this and learn it. Went to work at lunchtime on my full-time job. I get on my live and I would do a live session for an hour. And then I'd leave work. I'd run home really fast. I'd drive home really fast, and I would spend time with my family and eat dinner, or do the baseball thing with my son because he's got travel ball, and my daughter has dance, and I would do that. All of this busy life, and I get home and get right on the computer and start creating content and learning from other people, and just continue to learn and learn and learn. What am I doing different? What am I doing wrong? Why am I not successful? How come I'm not moving any further? But I just kept going and going and going. And then I started seeing success, and I doubled and tripled down on what I was doing. And then I learned from you, and then I learned from Brian, and I wanted to scale. And then I started taking some extra training, and I went and I saw Brian's course, and I started going through Brian's course, and I started, and I was still having a full-time job. And that started getting worse for me, where the job was starting getting to more stressful. And, and I couldn't go through Brian's course and get into his trainings. And I had to kind of watch his, some back replays and things like that. And it just started getting worse. Longer story short, October of 2022, I started in June of 2021. October of 2022, I had a feeling something was happening in my full-time job. I had a feeling things were kind of a little off. I was getting some weird emails from higher ups and asking me questions about things, and I knew something was up. A couple of days later, after 20 years, they took me into a room and said, "Hey, time to go. It's time. Wow. It's time for you to leave. We're going to have to let you go," is the word. So I was devastated. 19 years, and making over six figures with that company, doing very well. But they knew, I think, that my health was in danger. I wasn't feeling right. I think to not curse or anything, but my give a crap broke in that job. And I knew I had another vehicle to get me somewhere else. And I think I wanted to put more energy into this business, whether it be for Legendary, whether it be for Brian, or even starting to learn to create my own stuff and get more involved in my lives. Because when I start doing my lives, I get real passionate about this. I tell people what my story is. And, when you tell people stories and they listen to you and they understand and you're passionate about it, and they see everything that you're going through and they're in your life with you, it resonates with people. And I think that is what made me move quicker and more and forward in this business. So I lost that job in October of 2022. Prior to that, my goal when I first started this business was to give this thing a year. I told my wife, give me a year. I want to see what I can do with this. I invested in myself, give myself a year. Let's see what I can do. When it started making money, I said to my wife, give me a few more months. I want to get you out of your job. July of 2022, I told her she can leave her job. I made a video about it, and she was excited because she wanted to leave her job and be home with the kids. August, September, October, she gave her company 3 months. October is when I lost my job. So there's the twist. She still had a job. I had lost my job. She quit her job. Now we're both out of jobs.
Wow.
She told her boss, well, can you please extend that for me until the end of the year? Because we needed insurance. We needed the insurance. Insurance was going to be $2,500 a month. And my business wasn't at that point yet. So that was devastating in my family's life, my life. And I've got three different ages in children. So I had to sit them down differently to explain to them, this is how I tell my 10-year-old. Hey, I tell him, look, daddy had just lost his job, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you got fired, dad? And I was like, no, kind of, sort of, but that's okay. We're doing okay. Don't worry about it, dad. That's okay. You'll get another job, that kind of thing. And then it's the 16-year-old daughter. You tell her a little bit about it, and she's crying and she's worried, and what's going to happen, those kind of things. Well, we reassure her. That's a different story. Now you got the older son, 20 years old, and I let him know. And it's hard for me to say this because it kind of chokes me up, but he works as a he's a sorry guys.
That's all right.
He's
he has a full-time.
Yeah, he's got a full-time job as a mechanic. It chokes me up. I'm sorry. He says to me, Dad, look, anything I can do, man. I got some money. I said, look, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. But that was just something that got me. I'm like, you don't have to pay anything, son. I mean, everything's good. We're worried. I just wanted to let you know it's gonna be a little rough for a little bit. Dad's got a little business going on the side, and we're gonna make it. So, I mean, those were rough times in my life, really rough times. And I went through it, and I got through it, and I kept pushing forward. And it was all up here that I had to really fix to get forward with all of this. I had people in this business that were with me, that were on my side, that were people that I can count on, that when I had these problems, they were there for me. I have met better people through this training, through affiliate marketing, even people that haven't gone through these type of training, your training, legendary marketer, other people that have their own stuff, other people that are just marketers have reached out to me and said, Phil, anything you need, man, I can help you out, whatever you need. I've never met people like that. Virtual people, the people in my life that are close to me, I never told them. My parents didn't tell people that are in my life, never told them. I didn't want to hear, oh, what are you going to do now? Oh my gosh, oh, you got to get another job right away. Oh, work for the government. You won't worry about that. All of these kind of crazy things. I didn't want to hear all that. But to me, that's negative. And then that was October, November, December. Busted it with this business, and lives every day, twice, 3 times a day, putting out content, 5, 6 videos a day on different platforms, really trying to push it. My goal was to hit 6 figures by the end of the year. I hit 6 figures by right before Christmas. Had 3 huge sales that day, and it was wonderful. I mean, I was excited. And I knew that I'd get my goals completed, and I knew that I could keep moving forward. And that's where I'm at. It's now 3 months later from there. Let's see, January, let's see, this October, let's see, I lost my job October 12th. We are on, just finished January. And I'm so happy to say within those 3 months, I've already made my salary of my last full-time job.
Wow. Congratulations. I mean,
That's amazing.
So, I mean, that's a little, I mean, that's a long story, but that's mine. And, every time I tell that part of the story where I lose my job, and, I filmed it, and I haven't put it out there yet. I filmed the day that I lost my job because I used to wear a uniform, like a little type of uniform with the name of the company on it. I had all of these shirts that I built up for, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years. I just grabbed them all and threw them in the trash, and I filmed all of that. I filmed how I felt that day. My eyes were puffy. My whole face was just all red, and I just filmed what I felt, and I put it down. I haven't put that out yet. I don't even want to look at it. It's just so hard to look at, but eventually I'll put that out there. It's going to be pretty good content at some point. I got to say,
when the views start going down a little bit, or if you see a little dip, just put that bad boy out there and it's going to skyrocket. So as I was listening to your story, Phil, I mean, thank you so much for sharing it, and especially sharing it in the way that you did. I have the luxury of seeing your face. If you're listening to this, you can't see Phil's face. If you're watching on YouTube, you can, and we can just, if you are seeing your face, you can just see it in your eyes. You can see it in your mannerisms and your body language. Like, this was so important to you, is so important to you. And I mean, I can tell it's just, it makes you lighter now that you've broken through and you're seeing the success that you dreamed of. I want to talk about kind of why you got started, and then what helped you build momentum, because you talk about when you first got started, obviously you just kind of happened upon TikTok because you're a good dad and you got to make sure your kids can jump into this field or into this minefield with somewhat amount of confidence. I know you never want to let your kids go anywhere, but you got to let them do their own things. And so you're investigating TikTok and you're seeing some messaging and you're like, okay, I can do this, right? This looks like something that's doable, and that preaches that in my marketing. If you can make people believe in themselves, then they're going to be 10 times more likely to buy it. It's not about believing in Calvin necessarily. It's having Calvin, the first person you saw introduce you to this affiliate marketing opportunity, help you believe in yourself. So you're thinking, okay, cool. Here's a way to get out of this pain, right? You talked about your health with your job. You talked about, is he 20 or 22, your oldest? I didn't write that down.
He's 20.
He's 20. So, you talk about the 20-year-old and maybe feeling like you missed out, and you have a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old who you're like, well, here's, they're only going to be 10 once, just like your oldest is only going to be 20 once. I mean, let's be honest. He's still a young kid. You know what I mean? So plenty of valuable time to spend with there. So that's kind of the pain, I think, that maybe pushed you forward. You didn't even like your own behavior, because of the stress. You're more angry than you need to be, or you get set off easier. So that's all leading to getting started, right? I mean, that's probably pretty fair to say, pretty obvious. But then you mentioned that once you got started, you found the time in the morning at 4:00 in the morning before at work. You went live on your lunch break. You came home and spent time with your kids and had dinner, and then found time after that. That's the part that intrigues me, because everybody can sit there and think, man, my life really sucks. I need to make a change and get started. But what was it that just helped you keep going and then build the momentum?
I think, the way I think about that when you say that question is, when you get to this age, I know you're almost there, but when you get to this age,
yeah, I'm a lot closer to you than people, or than you might even realize. So.
When I get to this age, a lot of things don't matter anymore, right? A lot of things that throughout your life, the world has beaten the crap out of you your whole life, and I wanted to kind of hit back a little bit. I wanted to be able to, not have that feeling of, not have the feeling of just worry anymore. And I haven't said this before, but I was diagnosed with anxiety 3 or 4 years ago, and anxiety is a real thing, and it's really tough to deal with. And I was on meds for a little while, and I was a zombie, and I didn't want to be that way. And I started to deal with it in my own way and started breathing and all this other exercise and things like that. And I'm able to control it to a certain point, but I get anxious a lot and I worry about things all the time. But my whole thing is, as the years go by, you kind of figure out that hard work really, really pays, right? Hard work is going to work for you as long as you don't quit, as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you keep studying the people that are doing it. People that are doing it, people that are not the sharpest tool in the sheds are making lots of money creating content and giving people good, valuable information. If I can do that, right? I've done things in my past that are IT. I've gone to school to be an IT guy. I was fixing computers, and I learned a whole new business model of HVAC and learned all of that stuff. I've done things like that. Whether they were hard or not, I don't know. It was hard for me, but I did it, and I've gotten to the top of my game on both jobs. If I'm going to do this, and if it's something that I can have no cap and I can have any type of potential and give my kids more and give my family more and be able to get my wife out of her job and make her feel a lot better about her life and just have all of that come together. And if this little digital marketing business can be that vehicle for me to do that, and I can see other people's families happening, what they're getting through in their lives and what's happening for them, and honestly, and you see these people doing it in an honest way. There's no scam things happening. You really follow through of their lives because they tell their stories, and you follow through of what they're doing in their business because they show you what they're doing in their business. And if I can see that happening, the whole thing was, why can't I do it? So that was in the back of my head. I was focused on a goal. I'm still focused on goals, but they're a lot bigger now. But those goals were there. A little baby step that I took to get to a certain point. I got to that baby step. My next goal was this one, this award. My next goal was that award. My next goal was to help this many people. My next goal was to produce this amount of content. My next goal is to, it started to get to the point where let's not go for the bag anymore, right? Because you're not making money when you're going to the bag. Because that's what I was looking at. I was looking at the bag, and that's these kids' terms, the bag. That you're not looking at the money. Stop looking at the money. I kept telling myself, stop looking at the money. Start providing value to people. And when that happened, when I started giving people more value and actually telling my story and being a little bit more authentic in my lives, and people really resonated with me and who I was, and the audience of people that I started to gather into my lives started to get narrower and narrower. I do have 244,000 people on my TikTok. I bet you, I don't know, 70% of those don't give a crap what I do. I really do. I really believe that. And I tell these people in my lives, look, it doesn't matter how many people I got. It doesn't. It's not the quantity. It's the quality of people that you attract. And I started to narrow that down. And to answer your question, I know we get long-winded here, but to answer your question, what kept me moving forward? I was focused on a goal. I was focused on what the outcome could be like. How can my life be different if I do what everybody's doing, or if I do the work that needs to be done? And I have this engine inside me that keeps running. My wife says, you got to have some work-life balance. Why are you working so much? You're doing this. I know you're doing this for us. She leaves me little notes. Thank you so much for working hard for our family. There's something inside me that says, I need to do just a little bit more. Everybody's doing 100%. I want to do 110. I want to do 150. I want to get that little edge. I want to be part of that little edge to get a little bit closer. Because look, time's against me. If I was 25 years old, it'd be a little bit different. Time's against me, right? People keep telling me, Phil, time is money. Time is money. Time is money. Well, for me, time is not money. Time is time. Money's money. I've learned to make money. I can make money anytime I want to. Time, I can't get back. So I'm trying to get my time back with my family, with my kids. And in order to do that, I'm working hard.
Yeah.
Maybe if I work hard 4 or 5 years, I won't have to work that hard anymore. So I know that's long-winded, but I mean, hopefully I answered your question. Sometimes I just kind of blab a little bit.
No, absolutely. And as I turn it over to Andre here, it reminds me of something that Andre told me in one of the past episodes. You mentioned about getting your time back, and the first thing you had to do was work harder, actually put in more work before you could get your time back. And Andre knows what I'm going to say probably, but before you go up, you have to go down, right? Right, Andre?
Yep. Yeah. It actually reminds me of my story as well, because I will get home from work to work on my business as well. And I will see my wife and my daughter right there, right? They're just chilling there while I'm actually on my computer working. And it sucked. Like it sucked being still away from them, even though I was right there. But I had that determination, that motivation to get us to the next place. Right. And that's the hard work that I can relate with you. Like I can for sure say that you're such a hard worker, man. So you want to accomplish those goals, and you have that determination to actually do that. So thank you so much for sharing your story. It was super powerful.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you talk a lot about giving value in a certain way. Is it safe to say that you give a lot of value in your TikTok lives?
Yeah, I do. I do some things. The things that of course, everybody does things differently. I do watch, and I got to stop doing this, but I do watch other affiliates and how they do things. And I really want to see what resonates with a lot of different people and what they're doing. But once I stopped doing that, and I just sat back and kind of figured out the audience of people that resonate with me, and I find those audience of people in my lives. Lives for me is like if I'm depressed or anxious in the day, and as soon as they get on my live, my whole attitude changes. I love them. I love sitting in those lives and talking to people. I love to give to these people, to get those people excited about doing something different and telling my story. And teaching them about affiliate marketing and showing them how this stuff works and seeing their excitement coming back at me. So I'm sorry, I forgot your question. I forgot your question. I apologize.
Well, we're kind of leading into this whole TikTok lives thing, and you're talking about giving value on these lives.
Oh,
and I think maybe if we kind of even take this a little bit further, and maybe hopefully you're going to go this way and kind of explain to us like what going live really looks like for you, because when 2020 came around and TikTok exploded, everyone's thinking, yeah, TikTok is the next greatest place to market. And then Facebook comes out with Reels and Instagram goes with Reels, and TikTok reach is not what it once was. And everyone's like, well, TikTok's dead. But here you are hitting your goals, going live on TikTok, and you have 244,000 followers that you've amassed over the time. So yeah, just kind of back to the live strategy, how you give value, what you do, how you intertwine your story in there, and how that kind of all works, I think would be a great place to go.
Okay. Going live for me, when I started this was, I always, I think I just modeled everything from Calvin. I mean, I just saw success in this guy, and he went live, and I thought that was the thing I had to do. I got 1,000 followers. I mean, my first live, I was sitting in my basement, and I had one person, and that person I still know to today, because she sat there in that live for forever with me, and we just talked. And I just went through a story. Every time I went live, I just went through my story, and I would just continue to practice. I believe when I went through those lives, I believe that there was 1,000 people in there every time I did it. And I wanted to give those people, whoever was in there, if there was only one person or 1,000 people, I wanted them all to feel the same way. So as I kept doing it and I kept practicing, and I would go live every day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. And I just wanted to be good at it. I really wanted to be good at it. Then I would watch other people's lives, and my live today is a conglomerate of a bunch of people's different types of lives. I like a little bit what Calvin does. I like a little bit with Paul Francis. I don't know if you've seen Paul Live Free Francis. I've seen his stuff. I like some of the stuff he does. I like teaching people a little bit about this stuff. I want people to know what they're getting involved with before they go take some training or whatever. I just want them to kind of know what's going on. So in my lives, when I do them, I just want to give as much value as possible. And I tell people this. People are asking me, well, what are you selling? Well, I'm not selling anything. I just want you to know what you're going to get yourself into if you're going to do this. I don't want you to think that this thing is easy, because it's not. People are saying to me, well, can I make money in the next couple of weeks, or can I make money in the next month or so? I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. Somebody I have this some nickname of No Fluff Phil. Hey, No Fluff Phil, you're going to tell exactly how it is. And of course, I am not going to sit here and just BS with people. And I'm going to let you know exactly how I've done it. I'm going to go exactly how you can do this. So throughout my lives, what I actually do is I tell them what you're going to see. I tell them how you're going to see it. I tell them, by the end of this live, I'm going to offer you some training if you're interested in learning a little bit further. So I go through letting them know, hey, I'm here. This is what I do. Hey, this is what you're going to hear. I'm going to explain it to you. And by the end of this live, you're going to learn something. And if you want to do this a little bit further on in your life, and if you want to change your life a little bit and you're really interested in doing this, this is what I'm going to offer you. And if you're interested, give it a shot. And as I do that, sometimes I do these lives for an hour, hour and a half. I've gone 4 hours in lives, and it's crazy. And for me, I love it. I absolutely love it. I did a live right before I got on here with you. And I usually do a little bit of a training, but people were just starting asking questions. And when people ask questions, I don't mind giving answers, and I don't mind explaining things, and I don't mind, I keep giving people some clarity, because I let them know, look, there's some people out there on TikTok that don't say the right things. They're telling you can make $10,000 or $20,000 in a couple of weeks. I'm here to tell you that ain't happening. Sorry, it's not going to happen. This is this is actually what you're going to experience. And people will ask me, well, if I go through some training, or if I learn this business, how long is it going to take me to make some money? I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know how your work ethic is. I don't know, if you're going to do this like I did it, or you're going to do this every day, or I don't know how you work. I don't know how you learn. Maybe you learn a little bit differently than I do. So it's hard to answer those type of questions, but I do the best I can to help people out. I think in the last couple of weeks, in the last couple of months, since I've lost my job and started doing this, my focus on my lives is to give that feeling of how they can do it too. I really do believe that if I can help people, in fact, I changed my TikTok. Underneath my TikTok, I have a little description. It used to say helping parents make extra money. Now it says changing people's lives. And I really believe I can do that. And I want to do that. It's not about making a lot of money for me, even though that is going to be the product of what I do. I think nowadays, my whole goal is try to help as many people as possible. Try to have people have the same feeling that I have as I've accomplished the things that I've accomplished. I want people to understand that when Calvin Hill told me that I can do this and you can do this too, and made me feel that way, I want people to feel the same way. I want them to know that, look, I know you're a fireman. I know you work really hard. Thank you for being who you are. And I know that you want to be there with your kids, but you can't. I want to be able to help you get out of that, or maybe even make some extra money so that you can take your Disney vacation with your family, or maybe what is it that you want? And I'll ask people, what is it that you want? It might not even be all about affiliate marketing. It might not be all about this business. It might be about what is it that you want out of your life? This might be the vehicle that'll get you there, but what is it really? Because when you communicate to people and you really find out what their issues are and what their problems are or their pain points, then you really get down to it. And that's really what resonates with a lot of people. When I see people in my life say, hey, I feel the same way. Hey, man, you just explained me. I know what you're talking about, Phil. Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate that. So that's what makes me feel good. And what makes me feel good is probably going to make them feel good as well. So that's what's been happening lately and what's been changing throughout my lives. And I love that I'm involving in that way.
Yeah, you're definitely changing people's life. I can tell you that right now.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when I first started actually learning about TikTok and all of this, there was a strategy of, let's say, posting one video and then going live right after. And keep in mind, I haven't done a live in over a year and a half, probably. Okay. Is that strategy still like relevant today? Like if you go in live and you think your videos still pop off? I mean, you have over 200,000 followers,
Yeah.
so you think that's still relevant?
That does work. Yes, it does work. My strategy, and people who ask me, I've had another video that went 1.6 million views. It was a dad video. And after that video that got that viral, I started having a lot of guys coming in saying, hey, I'm that dad. I want to know more. Help me out. When you get a video that goes that viral, you're definitely going to get people in your life because they're still looking at it. As far as putting out a video right beforehand, I still do that. And I still get some people that say, because they're looking at your video, they see it. They see a little live session, they're going to stick on it. They're going to click on it and they come in. But unfortunately, I don't think TikTok likes me anymore because unfortunately, I've had many community violations that, of course, they brought them back, but I still have an account warning that's been there for like 3 months. And I'm very careful on that channel. I'm trying to not do as much on that channel. I'm only really going live. I'll put 1 or 2 videos out a day on that one. I'm building up my backup account. That's really scary when you lose your main account, and you don't want that to happen, especially when you're doing this full time. Yeah, so I'm building up other accounts. I've got 2 or 3 or 4 different types of accounts, and I'm trying to build those up as well, and just be omnipresent like I can, as much as I can. I'm at a point now in the phase of affiliate marketing. There's like a bunch of different phases. I'm in that phase of scaling, trying to get to the point of maybe, hiring some people or something, but we're working that out. We're trying to figure it out. And that's where I'm at in this business model. But I know I've been through the phases, the 1, 2, 3 steps, the 4, 5, 6 steps. And when I go my lives, I want people to understand what those are. And since I've been there, hopefully they do resonate and learn and maybe want to do something different.
And there's a huge power in live too, because obviously you're going to get some reach, but even if so let's say I'm creating a webinar or a video sales letter or a training or whatever you want to call it, basically something that at the end, there's going to be some sort of call to action. When you do it live, it just, the retention rate is better, the conversion rate is better. And there's something, it just makes it seem more intimate, but also more engaging that really, and maybe even authentic. Do you think authentic is a big part of it too?
Absolutely. I don't mind making TikTok videos. But my thing for TikTok is if I can't be a talking head and not say what I really want to say, the pointing thing really works too as well. But I can't get my point across in 15 to 30 seconds. I really want to sit and talk to people. I want people to know who I am. I want people to feel who I am. And being authentic is the only way I can be when I'm in my lives. And people see that. And if they see that and they feel it, they're more likely to do something else. So more likely to click my link, or more likely to be able to get across their fear, get past their fear of even clicking on somebody's link. You know what I mean? A lot of people and that's what I talked about in my live this morning, was many people want to do something different. They all have it inside them. They do. They're just afraid. That the biggest thing is being fearful. I don't know what to do next. I'm tired. I really want to change, but I've got a secure life right now, and I'm afraid to change that. And I don't know what will happen. And the fear is there. I try to get them past that. I try to give them more confidence in themselves to get past that. And why not give it a shot? That's all I keep saying. Why not just give it a shot? You don't like it, you don't like it. Move on.
It was interesting because, you talk about the confidence, right? Give people the confidence, right? That's what it took for you. That's what you try to do for other people. But you also said something that I wrote down, and this was a little bit earlier in the show here, but I wrote this down. When you tell people what's going to happen, what to expect, you kind of give them the path. It's like basically what you're doing is you're just removing the uncertainty. You're saying, see that dark path down there? Everything you want's on the other side. And if you just say that, people might be like, "Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what's there. I don't know what's going to jump out at me. I don't know where the thing is." But if you say, "Hey, see that dark path? Everything you want's on the other side." Take about 10 steps. Be careful. On the left-hand side, someone's going to jump out and try to grab you. So just know that's coming. After you get past that, take another 25 steps and be careful, because there's a hole on the right side. You don't want to fall in that hole, right? And if you give people that, then they start to think, okay, I can do this. And then they go forward, which is, if you're an affiliate marketer or a marketer selling, education products, that's what gets people to buy. Yeah.
Right. You're absolutely right. And, and you watch. I'll watch. I'm usually not a numbers watcher when I'm looking at my lives. I do see how many people come in the beginning, and then it kind of eventually goes away. But after I explain what I'm about to do, thank you for coming in my live. I appreciate you coming in here. Thank you. My name is Phil. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you haven't been here before, thank you for coming in. This is what I'm going to do. I'm up here. I'm going to explain to you what I do, how I do it. I'm going to explain to you how you can do it. Here's the list of what I'm going to do. If you're interested, hang out for a little while. At the end, I'm going to offer you some training if you want to learn a little bit further, but I'm not going to let you take that training or go click on my link until you know what you're getting yourself into. I want you to know first. Don't go clicking on any links. I'm not here to sell anybody anything. Don't start clicking away. Just listen to me. Learn from me. I want you to learn, right? It might not be for you. Don't start clicking away. Just sit and listen to me. I want you to understand it first, because if you don't understand it, you're definitely not going to understand anything you go through in that training program. So whatever training it is, whether it's going to be your training or somebody else's training, or even if you have your own ebook that you're promoting, nobody's going to look at it or understand it unless you kind of let them know first. Here's what you're going to see. So I kind of do that. And then you'll see the numbers go down when people are not interested. Well, good. I tell people, if you're not interested, just, well, come on back, or just want to hang out and listen. Come on and listen.
And I'm sure you have the ability to keep people engaged as well, because you want people to comment, you want people to like it as well. So what are like some of the common objections that you get from like a random person just jumping on your live?
Objections? You mean common things? Well, the most common questions I get is, how much do I think I can make right out the gate? Or do you think I can do this without getting extra training? Do you think I can do, people want me to give them more assurance that they can do it. That's probably one of the number one questions is, do I have to spend a lot of money for advanced training? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? I tell them what I've done and what was best for me. And then I let them know, well, if you feel you need to get more training, there are many ways to get it. You can go, there's many other people that are out there that have training. There's free trainings out there. There is YouTube videos you can get. But I let them know that I don't know who you are. I can't tell you how you're going to do, but I can tell you the opportunity is there for you. I can tell you that, there's no cap to this. You can do whatever you want. The vehicle is there. You just got to get in it. Just got to get in it and learn how to drive. That's all. So I can't answer lots of those type of questions, but another question I do get is when people say to me, this is so saturated. There's so many people doing this. And then of course I explain to them how the algorithm works and how, if you looked at this once or twice, you're going to see, the algorithm's working. It's going to just shove a bunch of this stuff at you. And I've actually tested that. I started a new TikTok channel and I never saw anybody talking about affiliate marketing. I never saw anybody talking about work from home jobs, nothing like that. But I mean, that is pretty much a lot of the objections I get. People saying that I don't have the time, or my husband won't let me do this, or how come, what makes your training, or what makes what you're giving to me more different than anybody else's? And my answers to those things are, it all depends on who you resonate with. It all depends on all of these trainings are going to teach you how to do affiliate marketing. And my whole thing is this: at the end of my trainings or end of my lives, I tell people, I don't care if you do affiliate marketing or not. I think it's the best way to start a business online. It's the least expensive way to get started with any type of training or any type of program. If you want to do Amazon FBA, if you want to do any type of online business, I don't care what you do, just get online. The digital world is here. Go out and do something online. Be different. The online world can certainly be the vehicle to get you to where you want to be. And for me, affiliate marketing was my way. I hope you understand this. If you like this business model, give it a shot. There are many other things out there. Give them a shot too if you want to. But I give people the option. I'm not a pushy salesman, right? I can't do that. I never was.
Well, you don't have to make the sale either. It's not like you're in a room of 3 people, and if you don't get one of those 3 people to buy, you're going hungry that night. You're in a room full of literally billions of people. Now, all those people might not be paying attention to you or in your corner of the room, but they're all there. You're not going to run out of buyers. So, you talk about the phases that you've gone on, the introduction to the opportunity or the discovery of the opportunity to the, hey, let's give it a shot. What the hell, type thing. And then you move on and it's like, well, here's what I got to do. So I'm in there in the trenches doing the work in my spare time. And then your breakthroughs and all that stuff that you've mentioned. And it's just a shining example of what happens when you take it seriously, right? You stop dabbling, you treat it like a business, and you go all in. But you also mentioned you're entering the scaling phase. So I'd like, if you could, maybe just a few minutes to kind of predict the future and show us what scaling means to you, because surely you're not going to go live 24 hours a day. So where do we go from here, Phil?
Well, Brian, I was hoping you kind of help me out there. Scaling. I really believe, I see some super affiliates out there. I mean, I see some people that just blow my mind with some numbers that they're pulling in. Some people are lucky. I don't know if it's luck, but I know that there's a lot of traffic. Sometimes I think to myself, well, where are these people getting all their traffic from? What are they doing differently that I'm not doing? And, for me to scale, I have to figure out where can I get more traffic? How can I get because we're marketers, right? The best part about this whole business is all I have to learn how to do is market stuff, right? I don't have to keep an inventory of crap in my house. All I got to do is market things. And if I could be an expert at that and learn how to market very well, which I think I'm doing pretty well at, and then maybe I can market over here and market over there and be able to get my my marketing experience out to the world a little bit easier and scale that. Because look, like you said, there's billions of people out there, and it's just that they haven't seen enough of me yet. But you say there's goals. Well, I have a little goal sheet over here. My goal for by April is to hit 35 to 40K a month. Well, is that going to happen? I hope so. But you know what? Hope is not part of my vernacular. I don't like saying the word hope. I think I'm going to get there. I really do. But how am I going to get there? I got to break it down. I got to do those little funnel hacking and break it down to how I'm going to get there. I want to be able to get there. But I will reach out to people maybe to find out how I can scale a little bit better. I might look for some mentors that I can maybe take their programming on scaling. Maybe I can find something that is different. It's always about investing in yourself as you keep moving forward. I believe in that. Some people don't want to spend any money. Hey, I'm okay with it. As long as it's going to help me get a little bit further on in my business, you got to invest in yourself and in your business. So if I can do that, I'll do that. But as far as scaling, I'm still trying to figure that out. Just to be honest with you, I'm doing the best I can every day, all by myself. So, I work here in my office 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I get up and I do my walking and I do my healthy stuff and I spend time with my family. But as far as scaling is going, we're gonna figure it out. We're just kind of breaking things down right now. I thought about some coaching. Don't know if I want to get to that point yet. I know how you do your coaching. I don't think I'm that great at it yet, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I don't know yet. I mean, I'm throwing things.
The most important thing is to set the intention, because you can set a plan to scale and then all the wheels fall off the bus. Yeah. So the best thing is to set the intention. So I know you'll get there, and I'm sure, you're going to surprise yourself. So
I do have one question though.
Yes,
have you done anything with Instagram yet?
Instagram's slow for me. I do something. I got 800 and something followers on Instagram. Facebook Reels is slow for me. I've got 3 different Facebook accounts that I'm trying to scale up. Doing the best I can. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe the algorithms are not happy with me, but we'll see. I just throughout these, throughout this career of this, what you really have to do is just continue to do it.
Yeah.
And you need to do it and do it and add more to it and add more to it. It'll happen. It's just going to happen. So I just got to keep doing it and see.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens quickly for others and sometimes it doesn't. So for me, it might just take a little bit longer.
Yeah, there's something that I know that you do really well, which is the lives. I would suggest you can do also a live on Instagram, because I think when you do a live on Instagram, you can also save it as a regular video so people can come back and rewatch it as well. So I think that could be like another way, because I know for TikTok, at least when you do a live, it's gone when you're done, right? You can really repost it. So Instagram does have the feature, so that could be another way of having people to come back to your lives,
Right. I've done a couple of lives in Instagram. My mom shows up, my daughter shows up, but that's okay. Instagram is a little, it well. Instagram well. I've seen a lot of people do Instagram very well. I'm trying my best with it. I think I'm going to hire my son to actually kind of put things out there for me on Instagram. I'm not that great at it. I'm learning, and I want to get good at it. So I'll learn to do that a lot better. And I will do lives on Instagram. I do it every once in a while. And I just do my spiel, right? Like I said before, if I'm going to do if there's one person in there, I'm going to make believe there's 10 or 20 or 30 or 100 people in there. So I will do that, and people will stop in and they'll pop out, and they'll stop in and pop out. But it'll grow. It'll grow. I believe I believe in the algorithms, and I believe in these platforms, and we'll see. We'll just keep moving forward.
And that's it. You found the formula, which is keep moving forward. I was talking to Andre a couple episodes back, and he's obviously crushed it with Instagram. And I'm in the same boat you are, Phil. I've been on Instagram off and on since 2017, and I've just never been able to figure it out. But finally, in my 4th or 5th year of Instagram, I finally have my account. Like, I'm at 8,000 followers, and it could be 1 million on any other platform, and I wouldn't be as happy as that. So you'll figure it out. Keep going. I don't have any great advice for you, because it's all new to me, but it'll go. You just got to keep going. It might take 4 years like it did for me, but you'll get there. Yeah. Phil, yeah. I can't thank you enough for your time. One thing that we like to do after hearing your story, which was amazing. I mean, so inspirational. You tell it so well. I can tell that you tell your story again and again and again, which is such a huge tip for those people out there who are like, how do I market? Well, you're going to attract people who are kind of like you. So why don't you let them know what you're kind of like, and you'll see some amazing things happen. But one thing that we like to do is turn the tables. Do you have any questions before we go for us, Phil? Anything you'd like to ask us while we're still on here?
Well, I got to say this. Both of you guys, for me, have been very inspirational in my journey. I really believe having mentors like you guys, even though I'm not paying you to be a mentor, I'm not paying anybody else to be a mentor, just having you there and watching you grow from where you were to where you are now. I've been in this game for about a year and a half. I knew where you were a year and a half ago. I knew where Andre was a year and a half ago, and all the people that I watched grow. It's just amazing to me to have you and these people in my life, whether it's virtually or not. You are inspirational. And the questions I have is I don't have a question. I have a thank you. I just have thank you very much for being there. Thank you for continuing to inspire people. Thank you for continuing to coach people. And same thing with you, Andre. You're there. You've answered my questions through some messages, and you're very inspiring as well. I just want to thank all of those people, because I still think of myself as just this, this older fellow out there. Just who would ever believe this older guy would be sitting on TikTok trying, talking to people and trying to inspire people to do something. Whereas a year and a half ago, I'm standing behind a counter handing out HVAC parts, So, and I'm inspiring people to do something different in their lives. And I just want to be like you guys. I really do. I just want to keep moving forward and follow your path and be a leader. Because you guys are leaders in this world of this affiliate marketing world, and I just want to be just like you guys.
Well, thank you, Bill. Thank you, Phil. We appreciate it 100%.
You're very welcome, and I am so honored to be here. Thank you so much. I'm just all the people you interviewed. Never thought I'd be in that category, but I do thank you so much for letting me tell my story.
And that's the reason why we started this podcast, by listening to stories. And you exactly brought what we wanted somebody to bring to the table. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, everybody. If you tuned in, how do we follow Phil? I guess we go find Phil over on TikTok. And then where do we find Phil on Instagram? Tell us, because we're going to jumpstart this thing for you.
Make Money with Phil on TikTok is my main account. I got a couple others, but the one on Instagram is Make Money with Phil as well. Make Money with Phil on Instagram. I have 812 followers, I think. So
Perfect.
I'd love to have more.
Yeah, we'll make sure to put that in the description, as Andre said, and we'll have to do a little recap. We'll bring you back on a few months, 6, 7, 8 months down the road, and we'll see what changed and what happened.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful.
You too. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you all in the next episode.
Thank you, everybody.